What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Dan, this is Neomustangs, and this is my Foxbody channel. If you remember on my live stream, I had a big transmission setup sitting here in multiple pieces. Today I'm gonna show you what I'm doing with that. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you enjoy my channel, and let's get over here. I mean, first things first, as you can see in the background, I am just a busy bee this weekend. Usually on weekends, I like to spend time rebuilding transmissions when I have that extra time to do it. This weekend is a particularly special weekend for me because I finally was able to dig out my faceplate TKO Transmissions from underneath that hole there that's been hiding forever. Now, if you recall, I've been racing TKO faceplates in my black car for a number of years. When it was a stock bottom end 302 car, we had a TKO 500 in it, which is sitting over there on the shelf. You know, over the period of time, we went with, you know, the McLeod steel billet flywheel, and then we went to the QuickTime bell housing, spacer plate, and we even ended up starting to get twin disc RXTs, and things got a little serious with us. I pretty much am forever gonna be a stick shift racer for the most part. I'll probably always be a pretty hardcore stick shift racer because it brings that extra element of surprise and challenge. Nothing against automatics, I'm not saying that at all. My preference is stick shift. I think it's cool. I think it's super fun on the street when you drive them on the street. So that's always been my preference with stick shift racing or whatever. Going back to my black car, when it was a 302 stock bottom end on 3 kit, we were racing with this TKO 500 for a number of years. And I know it's real messy and shit over here, but I just wanted to show you guys. And this faceplate literally helped me go from, you know, running 1090s to literally running like 1060s, 1070s. So yes, a faceplate will make you go faster. If you have a good clutch and a decent suspension, you could make your car gain a couple tenths, even in the 10-second area, being able to no-lift shift, if that makes any sense. Now, I know you can no-lift shift a lot of transmissions out there. You can no-lift shift the T56 Magnum if you know what you're doing. I've done that for a number of years with the white car. You innately take a chance at breaking the transmission, and that's what we're here to show you, is I got broken parts everywhere. I mean, you can see that I'm actually in preparation here, trying to make sure that I got the parts in the right spot. I'm doing my shimming on the cluster, so I saved you guys me disassembling the TKO itself. But you can see this is a faceplated Liberty transmission. I've had cryo treat, shot peen, I've had all this stuff done. I had to replace third gear, and I had to replace the counter shaft because I got broken parts everywhere. This is the TKO 600, literally just laid third gear down. Too much power. And my TKO 500, which I'm prepping over here, also same thing. Broke third gear back there, and I laid over the cluster. See? I paid good money for replacement pieces of both my 500 and my 600. So you say, Dan, well, what happened that you broke the transmission? I mean, that's got to take a lot of power to break a transmission. Actually, we had prepped the black car for a stick shift racing event at Milan, Michigan. And right before that, we had a dyno session where we were making about 715 wheel power out of 351 stock bottom end. It's probably the most power I pulled out of that stock bottom end. Maybe not at the dyno, but probably at the track. But at that stick shift event, we ended up shaking the tire real bad on the very first pass, and we broke the TKO 500. So how much power did my 500 hold? Not even 10 feet. So at 715 wheel on a full weight GT, I took the interior out for the event. So it wasn't full weight. We launched the car at about 715, about around 700 horsepower or so. Shook the tire real bad. I didn't even make it in the second gear. Now going back to the TKO 600, I actually broke this thing like three times. This is actually the third rebuild. This is the third time I've had to buy the third and the counter shaft. You can see why I got a T56 brand new Magnum sitting here hiding under the bench, because I am just tired of breaking parts. This is a synchronized transmission, and I may send it off to get it faceplated one day. But I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick with the TKO for now to get the 363 running. We'll make, because we know that the TKO will hold 500 horsepower, no problem. 600, The real goal is to get the 6060 in here with the bell housing and the drive shaft and the cross member, and you know. See, I'm a do-it-yourself shop. All this shit I own, all this shit I break myself. I did, for the longest time, procrastinate putting this transmissions together. I really just didn't have the time. But now that I have a reason with the black car to get it back on the road, And I got everything else set with the bell housing and the flywheel and the clutch. It just really just makes sense to go ahead and get the thing rolling, get the thing put back together. And if I want a T56 swap, I can do that a little bit later. So you can see here, I'm driving, I'm racing in the black car. I'm pretty sure this is one of my first passes that I had earlier when it was 302 based on. You can see, I was running 1090s, 1080s, 1060s. Literally, I jumped from 1090s to 1060s as soon as I put a faceplated transmission in it instead of having a synchronized 3550. And then naturally I made a progression. The black car now with a 351 turbo. I was running 9s, I was running 950s, 990s, 10.0s, 1020s. I mean, you could see the natural progression and me still using these TKOs. So you can see how they've busted. Plus I put 3,000 miles on the car every year that I drove it too. So I did drive it around quite a bit every day almost. In contrast, sure, there's gonna be guys out there that are making good horsepower over the rating of the TKO. The TKO is rated, when you have cars that are heavy and you have cars that are high horsepower, then naturally you're gonna have issues with your transmission holding its power. Anyways, I hope I have given you some enlightenment on faceplating. I got to get these transmissions back together. I don't want to deter you from not using a faceplated or a TKO because they're excellent transmissions and I've went hundreds of passes before I broke them. But I wanted to show you some of the carnage that I've had over the years. I needed to get these transmissions back together because they were just sitting on the shelf, and naturally putting the T56 in my car is going to be very expensive because the T56 Fox swap is expensive. So if you enjoy my Foxbody content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I just wanted to give you an update of what we were doing this weekend. We do live stream on Sundays at 7:30, usually most weeks. So come join us if you like. Make sure you go out there and check out some of those younger Foxbody channels. There's some fire out there right now, meaning that there's some good content. They're on the come up. There's some good content to be had. So make sure you go check out all the Foxbody channels if you get a moment to do it. Outside of that, I got a club membership. If you want to support the channel, hit the join button below. I got t-shirts for sale in my store. There's a store shelf down there. Hit me up with some merch. Other than that, I appreciate you just watching the video and thank you. We'll see you soon.